My pod splits open and seeds are thrown far away from my mother plant. What is likely my dispersal method?
Clear logic. Your choice by explosive mechanism is sound and 100% true. Which part of the bat plant which grows into a shoot is called? Smart pick. Plumule is the correct choice.
Which of the following is not necessary for a seed to grow?
Great thinking. Fertilizer is the right choice.
Another name for the food storage in the diagram is dash.
Great job. Cotyledon is the accurate answer.
What gas does a plant make that humans need to survive?
Correct. Oxygen, the air we breathe, is the right answer.
Growing from a seed to a new plant is called dash.
Well picked. Germination is the correct answer.
State a dispersal method for the fruit seed below.
On track. By wind is the correct answer.
It is the spreading of seeds to other places. Well reasoned. Seed dispersal is the correct choice.
Seeds of coconut plants are dispersed by. You're right. Water is the correct answer. What is the other name of ladyfinger? Excellent. Okra is a brilliant choice.
Identify this insectivore's plant.
Good thinking. Both and is the right answer.
How are dandelion seeds dispersed?
Bravo. By wind is the answer.
What provides food for the seed?
Nicely done. Cotyledons is a solid answer.
Which word identifies letter A?
Right again. Seed coat is a valid answer. Green chilies came from. Valid point. South America is true.
Choose the correct option.
You got it. Your choice leaf is right.
The process by which the seed coat becomes softer and thus making it easy to cook is called dash.
Correct response. Soaking is the most accurate answer. My pod splits open and seeds are thrown out with a force. What is likely my dispersal method? Nice selection. Explosive action is the correct and valid answer.
Name the material that is used to stick together many things: clothes, shoes, bags, belts, etc.
Sharp thinking. Velcro is the right choice.
The part of the seed that contains stored food for the plant is called dash.
Strong choice. Seed coat is the right answer. Which of the following conditions are favorable for germination of seeds? Exactly. All of the above makes sense, and it is right choice.
What part of the seed provides food for the plant as it begins to grow?
Well done. Cotyledon is the right choice. What part of the seed protects the seed until the plant begins to grow? Solid response. Seed coat is a valid choice.
Which conditions are required by a seed to convert into a baby plant?
You chose all of these, and it is correct.
I have an outer coat, a food store, and a baby plant in me. What am I?
Perfect. Seed is the correct choice.
Which of the following things are required for germination of seed?
Good job. Your answer all of these works well here. The part of the baby plant which grows into a shoot is called dash.
Right choice. Radical is the best answer.
Which part of a plant can produce another a new or a baby plant?
Nice work. You chose seed and it is correct.
The part of a plant that contains the seeds is called the dash.
Excellent choice. Fruit is the right answer.
Among these, which seeds have not originated from South Africa? Smart move. Ladyfinger is an accurate answer.
Which vegetable came from the continent Europe to our country? You got it. Your choice cabbage is right. Which of the following seeds is used as spice in our kitchen? Good thinking. Coriander seeds is the right answer. Which of the following is not required by the plant to grow? Smart pick. Nitrogen is the correct choice.
Which of these is absorbed by roots of plant from the soil?
You chose both and it is correct.
The scattering of seeds from one place to another is called.
Right choice. Dispersal of seed is the best answer.
The part of the seed that stores food for the baby plant. Great job. Cotyledons is the accurate answer.
Which of the following seeds is reddish-brown in color?
Great thinking. Rasma is the right choice. The two halves of the seed, one on each side, are called.
Correct response. Cotyledon is the most accurate answer.
The new plant that comes out of a seed is called dash.
Well picked. Seedling is the correct answer.
What are the conditions needed for seed germination? Play. Excellent choice. Water, sunlight, and air is the right answer. The outer covering that protects a seed is called.
Valid point. Seed coat is true. When the seed is soaked in water, it becomes dash. Sharp thinking. Soft and big is the right choice. The outer covering of the seed is called as dash. Well reasoned. Seed coat is the correct choice.
Which of the following seeds are used as spices? Solid response. Cumin seeds is a valid choice.
What part of the seed grows into the new plant? Good job. Your answer, embryo, works well here.
Among of these, which seed disperse through air?
Strong choice. Dandelion is the right answer.
A place where pitcher plant is found in India.
Nicely done. Meghalaya is a solid answer. Cotyledon stores the dash for the baby plant.
Correct. Food is the right answer.
Potatoes and tomatoes came from this country.
Excellent. South America is a brilliant choice.
3 conditions that seeds need to germinate. Clear logic. Your choice, all these sound and 100% true.
What part of the seed develops into a plant?
On track. Embryo is the correct answer. Doctor advised us to eat sprout grams because. Perfect. It is very healthy is the correct choice. All fruits contain the same number of seeds. Right again. False is a valid answer.
What is the hard outside of the seed called?
Smart move. Seed coat is an accurate answer. Identify the name of the insectivorous plant.
Exactly. Pitcher plant makes sense, and it is right choice.
Which part of a seed stores the baby plant?
Well done. Embryo is the right choice. From which part of plant can rose be grown?
You're right. Stem is the correct answer.
Which of these seeds are round and smooth?
Nice work. You chose mustard, and it is correct.
Which of these is an insectivorous plant?
Nice selection. Pitcher plant is the correct and valid answer.
Which out of these is a carrier of seeds? Bravo. Animals is the answer.
Seeds of dandelion are dispersed through.
Good thinking. Wind is the right answer.
Things soaked in water before cooking dash.
Great job. Chana is the accurate answer.
Name the seeds which disperse by water.
Well reasoned. Lotus is the correct choice.
Seed used as a spice in our homes dash.
Good job. Your answer, cumin, works well here. Which of the following is not a spice? Perfect. Milan is the correct choice.
Where was Gopal's mother going to go?
Valid point. Boaz's house is true.
What is the other word for sprouting?
Excellent. Germinate is a brilliant choice.
Plant which grows without seeds dash.
Excellent choice. Potato is the right answer.
Which answer is not a living thing?
Bravo. Table is the answer.
Seeds can sprout. Sprout means dash.
Strong choice. Germinate is the right answer.
Which part of a seed contains food?
Great thinking. Cotodon is the right choice.
What does seed do not need to grow?
Correct response. Stones is the most accurate answer.
Pitcher plant is not found in dash.
You're right. America is the correct answer.
Name the outermost part of a seed.
Smart pick. Seed coat is the correct choice.
Chilies came to India from dash.
Nicely done. South America is a solid answer.
Seeds cannot reach far and wide.
Exactly. False makes sense, and it is right choice.
The idea of Velcro was given by.
You chose George Mestral, and it is correct.
The seed dispersed by water is?
Well picked. Lotus is the correct answer.
Who cooks food for the plant? Right choice. Leaves is the best answer.
Plant use dash from the soil.
Right again. Water is a valid answer.
When seeds start to grow dash.
Sharp thinking. Germination is the right choice.
Velcro was discovered by dash.
Solid response. George Mestral is a valid choice.
Seeds are not spread by dash.
Well done. Sun is the right choice.
What do seeds need to grow? Nice work. You chose sun, water and soil, and it is correct. The insectivorous plant is.
Clear logic.
Your choice, Nepenthes, is sound and 100% true.
Coffee bean came from dash.
You got it. Your choice, Africa, is right.
Seed dispersed by wind is
Correct. Dandelion is the right answer.
who discovered Velcro?
Smart move. George Mestral is an accurate answer.
Seed leaves are called.
Nice selection. Cotyledons is the correct and valid answer.
How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format?
On track. Contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is the correct answer.